Hi, everyone. It's Josh. Just a quick pop in to say there won't be an episode on Monday because we're giving it to you early today, Halloween. So we hope you enjoy. We hope you have a safe one out there. As always, we're very grateful that anyone listens to this podcast at all, but especially such fine people. And we love you. So, yeah, happy Halloween and see you in a week. Bye bye.
You are Plemons.
It can't be!
You're going to live death now.
Hello again. Welcome to Bloodhaus, the show where we talk about art house horror movies. I'm your host, Joshua Conkel.
And I'm welcoming you to a new world of gods and monsters. Drusilla Adeline, welcome to another week of Bloodhaus.
What's up? How's it going?
It's motherfucking Halloween, baby. It's Ween. It's great.
Halloween. Ooh.
Yeah, you've had an entire month to perfect your Bela Lugosi and Boris Karloff impressions, Josh. This is perfect.
But now I can only do, because of last week's movies, I can only do Bela Lugosi doing his bad working class accent.
Oh, Karloff doing his bad working class.
But yeah, so that's what
I never want to do.
I don't want to do bad no more.
It's
I've been thinking
really
about
good.
it
It's like
all
a
week.
really good Karloff. It's like a really good Karloff.
So specific and weird.
But it like immediately he's got that little tremble to his voice. Anyway, I'm doing great. Halloween rules. I'm excited to have a whole day of lounging around my house, watching spooky movies and doing nothing. I always say that I adhere to the Buffy rule of Halloween, which is that the vampires and monsters and demons spend all year causing mayhem, and then they take Halloween off. It's a holiday. They do nothing.
Yeah.
They stay home. And that's what I do. So, I live in Burbank now. I've got a cozy little house. So I will have some trick-or-treaters that I will be giving some candy to. But other than that, the whole day is like hanging on the couch and, watching horror movies with my girlfriend, which you kind of can't beat that. And, recently we have been celebrating the holidays all across the city of Los Angeles, which has been so lovely. There has been amazing screenings around town that we've gotten to go to at like the Academy, and the Vista and the New Bev and the Los Feliz Theater, which has been amazing. We went to a Halloween ball hosted by the Bob Baker Marionette Theater.
Oh, that's so fun.
Recently, which was so fun. It was our one big excuse to do costumes this year.
Mm-hmm.
And so I kind of pulled a costume together from what is just in my closet. And I had a vintage white suit coat with tails, a very like Fred Astaire or like Danny Elfman in Forbidden Zone kind of jacket. And so I just got it laundered and cleaned because I think my stepfather wore it to the prom in like the 80s or something. And it hasn't been cleaned since, even if ever. Had that cleaned and then just got out like a white ruffled shirt, left it half buttoned, put on a bunch of like heavy chain necklaces, white trousers, and then did some really intense effects makeup and did a like gel treatment in my hair and got a deck of cards, and I spent the evening as a very bad magician who did not survive a water trick.
That's cute.
I had like a whole drowned makeup look, and like my hair was like greasy, wet, stringy with like gel all night, so it looked like it was dripping. I had handcuffs on, and like chains wrapped around me, and I was like intentionally doing bad card magic.
Yeah,
kept being like, wait, is it this one? So yeah, a very bad magician who died.
Do you know what I like to do on the actual night? I don't follow the Buffy rule, actually, but I do something very low-key and sweet. There's a part of Silver Lake in the hills that's like cute houses and stuff, and they block off all traffic for a few blocks, and all of the houses take part. It's where the kids go trick-or-treating, basically. So it's like a block party / the area where all the kids go trick-or-treating. And so it's just really cute and innocent. You get to watch all the kids in their costumes go house to house, and the adults kind of have drinks, and there's music, and it's just so charming. And my friend lives over there, so it's like really easy and just a nice, innocent way to spend Halloween night, like watching the cute kids go door to door. And yeah, I love it.
Yeah. Yeah, the FBI will be breaking down your door any minute, but yeah, it sounds great.
I do love kids. People are surprised to learn that about me. I love children, and people are like, that's really surprising.
Yeah, you own an ice cream truck that's like unmarked.
Yeah, exactly.
No, that's really cute. I'm like, to the same point, I'm really excited to finally live in a neighborhood that I will have trick-or-treaters. This will be the first time in like 15 years that I've had trick-or-treaters.
It's so
and I'm like really, really fucking jazzed about it. Not since I've lived in the suburbs of Indiana have I had a fucking like child knock on my door for candy. And like, we are loaded to the gills. We're very excited. We've got a little life-size figure of Sam from Trick or Treat with a big bowl of candy.
Yeah.
So
I don't know if we have trick-or-treaters in Miracle Mile because I'm never home on Halloween night. But I think if I was a kid around here, if I were smart, I would go to Hancock Park, which is just 5 minutes away, and that's like rich people's mansions.
Yeah, full bars, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Oh my God. Yeah, I mean, I always think about, you know, the stories of like Tim Burton growing up in like 1960s, 1970s Burbank, and how stifling it was to be living in suburban SoCal as like a moody little goth boy who just wanted to watch Dark Shadows reruns. And it's like, if you're a fucking kid growing up in Burbank today, the amount of like haunted houses and like
you have a whole goth district.
Yeah. Literally, like, Burbank's town council hosts like a competition for the best decorated house at Halloween, and like people like put on performances. Like they like have like social media things that are like, from this day to this day at this time to this time, all of these houses will have scare actors. So if you like, these houses will be extra scary, and it's literally just someone's front yard, and it's people spend all year building and making things because it's people who work in the industry who have these skills that have all of this material, and it's so fucking cool. Ivory and I always go and drive around Burbank in the mornings when it's like dewy and sunlit with like a coffee and a smoothie, and go like take a look at everyone setting all their stuff up and building their little dioramas and sets and scenes, and then go out later that night and see them like jump out and scare kids. It's so goddamn fun, and it's free. It's cheap and easy. You can just drive around Burbank.
I don't really have anything to talk about in terms of things I've watched, because I was supposed to go to see the AFI screening of Nia DaCosta's Hedda, her Hedda Gobbler adaptation last night with Tessa Thompson. And not for the first time, I went to the Grove when the screening was at the Americana, which I've done, I don't know, 3 or 4 times in the 10 years I've lived in LA. So I don't know, if you invite me to a screening that's at the Americana, chances are I'm going to go to the Grove, or vice versa. So just like confirm. I don't know why I do this. I'm like the worst person for this. It's like such a stupid thing. So the only thing I've really watched that's new is I started watching the new Tim Robinson show, The Chair Company.
Oh, The Chair Company? Yes. Okay, cool. I've also been watching The Chair Company.
It's so funny.
So we can talk about Tekka. We can like
Tekka.
we can open the lid on Tekka.
I've only watched the pilot so far, though.
Your mind has been opened. You see past the haze that they are presenting to you. That there's more to this world than you.
I love like a banal office story too. Like I love Doris. It's like Doris has bubbles all through her hair. Like the man who blows bubbles. It's like all of that shit is like
Jim Downey
so
from SNL and from One Battle After Another.
Yeah.
He uses the piece of paper to wipe the bubbles
to wipe Doris's hair down. It's just so funny. And then the woman who's like, I know you didn't mean to look up my skirt on my birthday.
It was my birthday. I also like the supporting cast is so good. Like I got so jazzed to see Lake Bell, to see Lou Diamond Phillips, like the girl from It playing his daughter. Like,
yeah.
so
of course, nobody
good.
knows what we're talking about probably right now. But just to say very quickly, please watch The Chair Company on HBO. It is so funny and super weird. If you're a fan of this podcast, you'll probably like it. It's like if Twin Peaks were a comedy. You know, it's just so surreal and weird and stupid.
Well, it's it's Tim Robinson basically doing his absurdist comedy version, the same vein as Friendship, which we've talked about a lot in this podcast,
Right.
and I Think You Should Leave. Basically doing a like conspiracy cover-up narrative in the most banal way. So imagine like Aaron Brockovich or All the President's Men or what was that Todd Haynes one recently, Dark Water. Imagine all of those movies and those kinds of plots, but it's about Tim Robinson sitting in a chair at work that breaks. And he's so embarrassed by it.
He's gotten this big promotion. He has to make a big speech. He builds malls. That's his job. He's nervous about the speech. The speech goes off without a hitch. He's in front of his whole company. He crosses the stage to sit in this chair, which then falls apart beneath him, and everyone kind of laughs. And so then he becomes obsessed with this chair and why it fell apart. He's researching the company. They're weirdly hard to find, and it just like rabbit holes. He starts not paying attention to his job because he's so obsessed with this chair, and it just devolves and gets weirder and stranger. Does feel like there is starting to feel like there is something weird about this chair company, which is called Tekka, because he breaks into their address, which is just an empty warehouse where there's like a giant red ball for no reason. It's really quite something. It's so funny.
There's like an urn.
Weird. Yeah.
Yeah, he also gets threatened to stop looking into the chair company
by a thug. That ending is so funny where the man is running away. I loved it so much.
Oh my god. There's a character actor, Josh, in episode 2. The new episode comes out. It's like releases on Sundays, so you'll have a new episode soon. But in episode 2, there's a character that works at a shirt store that is one of the most insane actors I've seen in a long, very much in the Tim Robinson mold of like casting non-actors or very like bizarre performers that don't really work that often, like Biff Whiff and I Think You Should Leave and all those people. Or the guy with like the steering wheel conversation and I Think You Should Leave that are like, where the fuck did you find these people? This guy is very much like that and has some of the most insane line readings you'll ever hear. I'm very excited for you to get to that scene. The chair company fucking rules. I went out to the theater to go see a new film by a director that we both love, starring multiple actors that we both love. It's been one of the most anticipated movies of the year, and I know you're going to see it tonight. So I will be, and it's brand new for a lot of people, so I will be brief in my discussion of its plot elements. But it is a remake, I will say.
Yes.
So I have seen the original, so I was technically spoiled going in, but I still had a wonderful time. My girlfriend hadn't seen the remake, so she was gagged by the ending of this movie. We went to go see the new Yorgos Lanthimos joint, Bugonia, with Emma Stone and Jessie Plemons.
Wait.
The
Chapel Roan trailer, the first time I saw it, was like, I'm going to lose my fucking mind. I wanted to like jump out of my chair and literally fly. I was so excited.
You are going to lose your fucking mind. The Chapel Roan moment is in the movie.
Oh, good.
There's 3 needle drops in the entire movie. The Chapel Roan one in the middle, and then one for the end credits. And when I tell you, Josh, that when the second needle drop happened, I cackled out loud. I like lost my mind at the song choice alone and in the setting, and they play the song in full.
Oh my god.
All I will tell you is that if the Chapel Roan track is by one of Ivory's favorite artists who she's worked with, then the second track is by
Roan? Because she's worked at Chapel Roan.
Yeah, she worked at Chapel Roan, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's by one of her favorite artists. The second one is by one of my favorite artists, and it took me the fuck out.
Okay.
And it is so goddamn funny. Bugonia is amazing. For those that don't know the general setup, two men, one of which played by Jessie Plemons, are obsessed with conspiracy theories and kidnap the female CEO of a major company played by Emma Stone because they believe that she is an alien being.
Right.
That is the log line. That is the setup. That is all you need to know, other than the posters are incredible, have the best typeface in the world.
The typeface is so good.
It's fucking incredible. And there's a lot of bees and honey. And there's a lot of surprises. It's a very small movie, but there's surprises in the cast as well throughout it. It reminds me a lot. It's a remake of the South Korean movie, Save the Green Planet.
Mm-hmm.
So if you've seen that movie, you kind of get the trajectory of this movie. But if you haven't seen that movie, do see Bugonia first.
Yeah, I hear it's a lot better, actually. The reviews are like, it's really better than the original.
It is. It changes a few elements. I mean, the casting of Emma Stone changes a lot. But it's a Yorgos thing, so he's always going to get Emma Stone. It's so fucking good. Yeah, I mean, it's probably not my favorite Yorgos, but like, there's no such thing as a bad Yorgos Lanthimos movie.
What is your favorite Yorgos Lanthimos movie?
It's either Killing of a Sacred Deer or Poor Things.
Mm-hmm.
But I love Killing of a Sacred Deer. I think it's hysterical.
Me too. I think it's so funny. I mean, it's such a dark movie, obviously. it's probably my favorite. We did it. It's episode number 4, I think, of Bloodhaus.
Yeah, it's like or
Very
maybe
early.
2. It's like a super
like
early
that.
episode.
Very early.
I mentioned in that episode, and I'll mention it again, that when I saw Killing of a Sacred Deer in theaters, I at multiple points was laughing out loud, and I was the only person in the theater laughing. And I would look around and everyone was stone-faced and horrified.
It's such a funny movie. I don't know why people don't understand that it's a comedy, but to me it was very funny.
Bugonia reminds me a lot of Sacred Deer. A lot of Sacred Deer and Kinds of Kindness. Much more that than The Favorite. It's also shot there.
Also very funny.
Favorite is very funny. But I feel like The Favorite and The Lobster are a lot more like palatable.
Yeah.
And Sacred Deer and Kinds of Kindness are a lot meaner.
Yeah.
And Bugonia has a lot of that same mean streak. There's a lot of things in this that I was laughing at that many people in the audience were stone silent at. But also, I had the context of having seen the South Korean movie, so I kind of knew where things were going. So I felt a little bit more emboldened to laugh at some things and to view some things in different lights. So whatever. I fucking loved it. I think it's really, 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 really good. It reminds me a lot of, there's a play that I love called Death and the Maiden.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a similar setup to this.
Yeah.
Of it's a husband and wife that live out in the country, and the wife is like a military veteran who has PTSD from being like tortured and abused in a POW camp. And when a man shows up on the doorstep in like a rainstorm, needing help with like his car or something, she hears his voice and immediately is like, "That's the man that tortured me." And she kidnaps him and holds him in the garage. And he's just like, "I don't know what you're talking about. I'm a stranger off the street."
Yeah.
What do you mean? And the husband has to reckon with, is my wife unwell? Or is this the man that hurt her? Is this like, who is lying? Who is telling the truth? Whose perception of reality is true and correct? And Bugonia is a very similar setup taken to much more absurdist proportions. And
I can't wait.
It's so good. There's similar to the Tim Robinson discussion. There's an actor in this who's never been in a feature before. Who like he's a regional theater actor, but this is the first time he's.
Is he the other man with Jessie?
The other man is having like a main role it's his first feature film role ever. So I don't want to say non-actor because he is an actor. He is like,
right, he's just like a theater actor.
But holy shit, he gives an incredible performance. This is like such a find. This guy is amazing. Yeah, just all I will say about Bugonia is go and be prepared for anything. It's great.
I love Emma Stone, of course, but I love Jesse Plemons. I mean, he is such a transformative actor because he seems like such a kind person. And so it used to be that you would see him kind of play these like soft, quiet, sort of doughy people from time to time. And then suddenly he would play these like really menacing people. I know you haven't seen it, but his one scene in Civil War is truly terrifying.
Yeah.
Like, he is terrifying in that movie.
They played a lot of it in the trailers, I rember. And I remrember like, it's very
only
upsetting.
one scene. He's only in one scene and it's just like, oh God. He's also so funny. I mean, he's just such a talent.
He's so fucking good in this. And literally like a lot of this movie boils down to letting these two loose on each other.
Yeah.
Emma Stone, it almost feels flippant to be like, oh yeah, Emma Stone's good. Emma Stone gives an incredible performance. Her performance in this as a like female tech CEO feels very like tonally akin to the work that she's done with Julio Torres in the past.
Yeah.
Like on SNL and stuff like that. Just so goddamn funny. Just hearing her say things like, let's have a dialogue about this is so goddamn funny. She's amazing. And Plemons is so fucking good. As soon as you see Jesse Plemons in this, you're going to be like, oh, I have 3 cousins exactly like him.
Yeah. I watched this long video. I think it was for Vanity Fair or something, but it was like Kirsten Dunst talking about like all of the iconic roles of her career. And she talked about meeting Jesse Plemons on the set of Fargo and falling in love with him because he was like her favorite actor to ever work with at that point, just like had the best time working with him and fell in love with him. And then there were all these comments about how he lucked out because she's so much more attractive than he is. And I was like, that's so shitty. Like, I don't think he's an ugly person. I understand why these two fell in love. They seem perfect together to me. Like, what a perfect couple. I don't know. It was just like gross to me.
Yeah. I like that. I know there's like an age difference and like he's had like, you know, body changes and he was a more heavy set when they first started dating. And then also then when he lost weight, he was heavily criticized for that as well. And like, he's such a talented actor and was in such like a character actor mold for a long time. Or like, he would play like the son of Al Pacino in a prestige movie or the son of De Niro in a prestige movie. He played like Dick Cheney's son in that like one movie. Like he was always doing that. And then he would get like the small role in Killers of the Flower Moon where you know that just by bringing him in, like you're leveling things up and you're bringing in a fucking ringer. Like,
yeah,
it's crazy to me that Game Night is the thing that made him like really pop off.
That's crazy. I didn't think I knew that.
Insane to think about. But his performance in Game Night is really good. But in Game Night, he's also playing like creepy and unsettling, but to comic effect. And like he's so fucking good. He's like the cop neighbor next door with like the little white dog.
He was also in Breaking Bad, which is like an early big thing, right?
Oh,
yes.
Okay. I never finished Breaking Bad. I got to like season 3 or season 4, and I was like, this sucks, and I stopped watching.
I love that show.
I can't stand it. A lot of the prestige TV stuff, I get so drawn out for me, and I get so sick of it. The best I can do is something like *Halt and Catch Fire*, which is like 4 seasons and is like immaculately structured to be 4 seasons.
Well, congratulations, Drew. You're the reason I don't have any work.
Oh, I'm sorry. But also, okay. I like no. I'm not the. So many people love that show. So many people love Game of Thrones. So many people love Severance.
I know.
I am not a tech billionaire that is fucking shorting the fucking system.
I'm teasing.
Anyway,
so it's Halloween. We're here to do our grand Universal Monster finale with a twofer, a double feature.
A monster mash, if you will.
A monster mash, if you will, and I will. These are perhaps the best two Universal movies, you could argue. I would argue. So we're saving the best for last. First to bat is from 1931, directed by the great James Whale. It is Frankenstein. You know the story of Frankenstein. I won't tell it to you. If you don't know, learn. I mean, I don't know what else to say. I do think that
mad scientist digs up corpse, stitches them together, makes man, brings man to life with lightning. Man goes around countryside.
It's exactly what
villagers kill them.
Kills a little girl. Villagers kill him.
Yeah. Roll credits.
I did forget that this has like a campy intro where somebody comes out to talk directly to the audience, and he says like, "Hello, Mr. Carl Laemmle feels like it would be unkind to present this without warning." It's like a trigger warning for the movie, basically.
Yes.
I love
it. It's Edward Van Sloan, who was Van Helsing in Dracula. The fucking same year or the year before.
I didn't
stepping
realize
out
that.
in front of the curtain to be like, I'm here on behalf of Universal Pictures. This movie is too terrifying for most audiences. You've been warned. And from my understanding, that was like required by Carl Laemmle Sr. to be put there. But also, it's such a stunt. It's such a William Castle kind of like, no one's gonna. After that happens, no one will leave.
It's also like it's similar to the thing that I heard about Dracula until we covered it. It was just like people were fainting in the audience when it originally aired. That's not true. That's just like marketing. You know what I mean? But this is pre-code, so it's kind of like I don't
salacious.
know. Salacious.
Well,
that's the word.
When people talk about the pre-code era, I don't know. We've discussed pre-code movies on this podcast before, especially last week. I don't think we've ever really gone into like the code. So we'll quickly just be like, the Catholic Legion of Decency, the United States government tried to crack down on Hollywood motion pictures in the 1930s for presenting, ill morals to the theaters of America and to, general audiences and children. Scary movies, salacious movies, sexual movies, or like anti-religious things or homosexuality inferences, things like that. Or the idea of a woman being pregnant.
Yeah.
Or having an abortion or something like that were monstrous to them. And they threatened to have government censorship over Hollywood productions. And Hollywood saved their skins only by self-censoring.
Taking it upon themselves.
So they hired Joseph Breen, the former postal czar. What's the head of the post office? The fucking Postmaster General. Former Postmaster General. Who
better qualified?
Right. A major fucking square piece of shit Catholic Legion of Decency like monster. And in the late 30s, early 40s, he set up the code. It's named after Will Hayes, who also set it up. And it ran until the 1960s. And it, that's when you get like married couples sleeping in two separate beds in the same room.
Yeah.
If people kiss, they have to kiss. They have to have like 1 foot on the ground or something like that. Silly. And this comes into effect most specifically in Frankenstein, which is pre-code. The thing that you can notice that is pre-code about it is all of the religious elements.
Yes.
James Whale has a fucking mean streak with Catholicism, and he really plays it out in the modern Prometheus, i.e. Frankenstein, as does Guillermo del Toro. In the year of our Lord 2025.
I mean, that's like the quote unquote moral of the novel is like, don't play God, right? So it's like in the original text.
Yeah. So famously, I mean, the movie opens with a crucifix in a cemetery being, with a funeral happening, and
it's gorgeous. That opening scene is so beautiful.
Every single time. So I'm such a fucking vampire girly. I'm such a fucking like Dracula like descendant. It's like it is in my blood. It is like that is my whole thing. And every single time I'm like, yeah, my favorite monster is Dracula. Universal monsters, bing bang boom. It's always gonna be Dracula, baby. And then I go to watch the movies and I see the first frames of Frankenstein, and I'm like, nah.
Yeah, this is a better movie.
These
if
are the
nothing
better
else, because it
movies.
has music. But
Well, yeah.
you know, so Universal was in the red basically, and they made Dracula in 1931, which was like a massive hit. And then Carl Laemmle Jr. was like, "Great, we're making 5,000 more horror movies," and so that's why this comes into being. So originally, Bela Lugosi was going to be in this. He thought he was going to be Frankenstein. And then they wanted him to play the monster, and he was like, "No, I'm not doing that," because the first version of it, he was just like a killing machine, because there was a director before James Whale who conceived it that way. And so Bela Lugosi walks away, and then James Whale comes on, and then like goes back to the source material and makes the monster more sympathetic and stuff. So Bela Lugosi leaving this picture is considered like one of the great career mistakes of Hollywood history. But actually, the role was really shitty when he walked away.
Yeah, of course. And like, additionally, it's also been stated a lot that like, had Lugosi taken the role and then Whale come on, Whale would have fired him.
Yeah.
Whale never wanted him. And James Whale famously discovered Boris Karloff just sitting in the Universal canteen, just having lunch, as many jobbing actors did. And at the time, he'd been, he was like in his 40s.
Yeah,
he'd been like being like a D-list string player for a long time in many movies, bopping between the studios. I think he was a Universal contract player at the time, and he was like, that guy looks great. And Boris Karloff, out of makeup, is the sweetest little man in the world. He's got his little tea. He has to have his 4 p.m. tea break. He was like a big member of the like Burbank Cricket Society of like British expats. And they took a flyer on him just because. I mean,
it's a non-speaking role.
It's a non-speaking role. He's tall. He's got like specific features that you could build this around. He's a talented actor, but that really didn't matter for them. But also, he's not a named actor. He's like been in all these movies, so he can be on set and not be a fucking idiot. But also, no one's gonna recognize him, so you can bill him as like, what even is this?
He's not even credited. It says monster question mark and the opening credits.
Which the opening credit, the Art Deco opening credits to this movie are so gorgeous.
Beautiful.
He's not even billed in this, and then it wasn't until like because a lot of the marketing was like trying to get American audiences to guess who was playing the monster, which is such a mean trick. And then after the movie was a big hit, that's when they're like, Karloff. They didn't say Boris. They just said Karloff. They wanted to like give him like a Cher, Madonna, Greta Garbo kind of thing. And then
that's
for a while,
credited in Bride of Frankenstein, and then the monster's bride is like question mark in that movie.
Yeah. But I think she's credited separately as Mary Shelley.
Yes, because it's a dual role, but you don't know that.
Which is genius.
Great, yeah.
But he was also billed as like Karloff the Uncanny, which I always thought is like a really funny name. It feels more like a like carnival sideshow name than like an actor in a movie. Of course, he shook all of that shit real fast. I just tiny quick aside. I assume you've been watching the more recent season of Taskmaster.
I've started it. Yeah, I'm like a few episodes in.
Okay. In the most recent episode, there is an art-based challenge where contestants have to draw a picture of their hero. Of course, it's Taskmaster, so there's more like complications to it than that. And Reece Shearsmith from Inside Number 9 is one of the contestants this season, who I love so much, and he is like a horror-obsessed like British gay goth. I love him to high heaven. And when they like put his thing up and they have to figure out who Reese's hero is, Greg Davies leans over to Alex and is like, "Who's that old actor that Reese keeps mentioning all the time backstage? Who's the person he keeps bringing up?" And Alex Horn goes, "Boris Karloff." He's like, "Yeah, it's gotta be Boris Karloff, right?"
My old boss on Sabrina bought Boris Karloff's apartment in the Dakota in New York, which is Rosemary's Baby, a building for those who don't know. And I was so jealous, even though it's a studio with no kitchen and he paid over $1 million for it, a couple $1 million for it. I was still like,
crazy.
Wow, that's crazy. I love this movie. I had such a funny reaction to it last night because or the night before last, because I don't know, as somebody who likes a lot of privacy and I'm a writer, I was like, why don't these fucking people leave Frankenstein alone? He told them he wants to be left alone to do his work. Like, leave him alone. I was so annoyed on his behalf. They keep knocking on his windmill. He specifically told them to
go away. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't approve of the work. I don't approve of the work he's doing, but like, mind your own business. He's
Let
up
him
in a
cook.
windmill. He's asked for some privacy. Like, fuck off. I would
Do you
never
own that windmill? I don't think so.
I would never marry Elizabeth in a million years if I told her to fuck off and she kept coming up to my windmill and knocking on the door. Like, give a man some privacy.
God, you are going to be working on the most fucked up screenplay of all time, and Joel is going to keep knocking on your windmill.
I hate to say this about myself, but I can be a little bit Jack Torrance when I'm like disturbed. You know what I mean? I do not like to be disturbed.
You can be a little axe murder your family.
Yeah. I'll also say I think that Colin Clive, who plays Henry Frankenstein, I don't know why they changed it from Henry to Victor.
It's so annoying because then they named the other character Victor.
They named his friend Victor. It's very confusing if you know the novel, but it's fine. I think he's really wonderful in these movies. Great acting from him. I think he's very handsome. Superficially, I think his friend Victor is way hotter and also dumber. And if I were Elizabeth, I would just fuck off and be with Victor.
Yes.
He's hotter, he's taller, he's got a mustache. Just be with him. I guess he's not going to be barren, perhaps. But he seems rich.
The fucking like D plot of them getting married and the Baron's father is like such a bizarre element to this movie. And it's like all of that stuff is such like an early glimpse into James Whale's very like British sense of humor that he's going to bring to these movies. That's going to be a lot more pronounced in The Old Dark House and especially in Invisible Man. Invisible Man is like basically an out and out comedy. But like, oh God, who's the actor that plays his father? Because
that's the Baron.
Frederick Kerr.
Yeah,
Frederick Carr. He is such a great old Hollywood kind of like fuddy-duddy actor. He was also in Waterloo Bridge that James Whale made the same year. Must be great to have a fucking early Hollywood contract.
Well, these movies get churned out. I mean, they're only an hour long, so that helps. But
yeah. I mean, they have these massive sets and they have these massive industries around to like crank these out. Yeah. Colin Clive, this is the performance he will always be remembered for.
He really is wonderful.
He's really, really, really wonderful. He's a very unfortunate story because he was a severe alcoholic.
I could tell. In the next movie, which is made 4 years later, I was like, oh, he looks puffy. He's aged a lot in these 4 years.
They apparently, part of the reason that there is an additional doctor in Bride of Frankenstein is because A, James Whale got a lot of creative control in that movie, and B, because Colin Clive was not doing well at the time, and they had to cut so much of his stuff to make the movie work.
He's in so little of that movie, really.
Yeah. There's a really amazing movie from he's also in Mad Love, which we've discussed in the past, and he came back to the Frankenstein cycle for Ghost of Frankenstein. Um, there's a really amazing late 30s movie where he plays the villain, and it's a rom-com. So the idea of having a villain in a rom-com is psycho. But it's called History is Made at Night. It's from 1937. It's directed by Frank Borzage, who is hugely overlooked, like old Hollywood master, who's the first person to ever win a Best Directing Oscar. And it's like a rom-com between Charles Boyer and Jean Arthur, as like she's the like wife of a rich industrialist and he is like a poor French maitre d', and they meet and fall in love and then have to separate and then meet again and fall in love. And like a lot of the driving force of it is that they can't be together because she's married to Colin Clive, who is a severely physically abusive like stalker.
Yeah.
He's like terrifying. He's like monstrously terrifying in this movie. And it gets really, really dark whenever he shows up. But then it's immediately undercut by how like, and anytime it's just Boyer and Arthur, it's the like most sweetest, like bubbly fucking shit in the world. It's so good. It has one of the most psychotic endings of all time that I don't want to spoil for you.
That sounds good.
But it like, it basically kind of pulls, what was that movie? Remember Me with Robert Pattinson, the movie that's like, oh, it's like a cute rom-com, and then the like final 10 minutes or 3 minutes of the movie are like he finally got a job with her dad and they're gonna go to work together, and the camera pulls out from the office to reveal it's the Twin Towers.
I've never heard of this
cut to like a school, and the kid in the story is like in a classroom, and the teacher writes September 11, 2001 on the chalkboard, and then credits roll.
That's so funny.
History is Made at Night has a similar ending, though it's more upbeat than that, but it does have a similar like, are we fucking doing this ending?
Yeah.
Where like this should be a separate movie. It's fully psychotic. It's really good and really, really, really charming. It's one of my favorite movies, and Colin Clive gives such an amazing performance in it. And it's like the only big notable thing he did outside of 2 Frankenstein movies.
Yeah. I love when Frankenstein throws the little girl into a creek and she just immediately dies. And that was heavily edited at the time. The cut footage was found, I think, in the 80s and has now been restored to the prints that people watch. So you've seen it. If you've seen it in the past, if you're listening to this, you've seen the missing footage because it's in all the prints now. But like, it's so funny that was edited, because it is not at all shocking or frightening. And it seems like ludicrous that this girl would just immediately die. And there's another thing in the second movie where it's just like, is he throwing women into shallow bodies of water and then they just die? Like, that's not how, like, can no one swim? I don't know. Women in these are very fragile.
I can see 1930s Hollywood. Well, it should also be noted that at this point, you know, the movies would be made in Hollywood, California, but then they would be shipped off to fucking like Akron, Ohio, and Arkansas, Nebraska, whatever. And then those separate communities would take a look at the movie, see what they deemed unacceptable, and cut out what they didn't like. And then, so if you saw it in like Ohio in 1931, you may have been seeing an edited version and not know it. For most movies, which is fucked up. The other most famous thing that was edited out of Frankenstein that has since been reinstated, which any version now that you watch has it, is the classic "It's Alive" moment when he sees the hand moving and the "It's alive," you know, blah, blah, blah. And then he says, "Oh God, now I know what it feels like to be God." And they had to censor that at the time, but they just put an extra lightning sound effect over him saying the last part of that. Which is like such a quickie, easy fix. Can we talk about the way... I mean, first of all, this is one of the most beautiful movies ever made.
Gorgeous. The sets and costumes.
So many of the fucking like shadows in this movie, which are so gorgeous, are painted on.
And also when they're outdoors, it's very easy to see that the background is on a curtain because it's like
Yeah.
ruffled, but it's like the night sky, but you can tell that it's, it's like crinkled like a curtain would be.
The like cemetery sets in this movie are so
Love.
fucking beautiful. But I love the way that they shoot Karloff and then they shoot the monster. So much of his introduction is all through the hand. This movie is so like visually very obsessed with hands, which I think is really fucking cool. But the way that you first get the like full Karloff introduction is an incredibly iconic moment, and people can imagine it in their mind's eye pretty well, even if you haven't seen the movie, of him standing in the doorway. But every time I watch this movie, it blows me away because every choice in the structure of it makes no sense and shouldn't work, which is that he walks backwards to the door.
I know, I thought that was so weird.
He walks backwards to the door and then turns around, and then the camera doesn't push in on it. It cuts to further tableau push-ins on him.
I loved that
to
cut.
no score.
I loved that cut. I thought the backwards
so
walking was weird. It was obviously because they wanted to like delay seeing his face, the blocking of it. It's a super weird choice, but that cut, that push into his face was so good.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting that they aesthetically, this, the book Frankenstein came out in like 1818, but rather than set this then, they make this Victorian. It looks like to be like 1890s maybe, which for a 1930s audience would feel like the past, but still somewhat familiar.
And for some people in the audience, it would feel like their childhood.
Yes, true.
Which is
it would be
weird
like
to think
setting
about.
something in the 80s now, you know what I mean? Rather than something set in like 100 years ago.
Yeah.
That has interesting implications for the next movie, so I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but it shows up in really beautiful ways here. The science, first of all, like the Victorian science, the electricity, all of the scientific gadgets. Her wedding gown, which is so beautiful. I mean, everything about that is really gorgeous. It's just a really good aesthetic choice.
It's so the scene in which that he breaks into the wedding chamber, it has maybe the most like theatrical stagey blocking in the whole movie. It's very like, left to right kind of, that you can like almost feel the proscenium arch in that.
Yes.
But it's really, really powerful, and it's a really iconic image, and as soon as it happens, it like gets baked into my mind. And every single time it happens, I go, oh right, King Kong fully stole this moment. King Kong, which came out 2 years later, fully stole this moment. That is insane.
I actually thought of Halloween because she's sitting there at her vanity and he's slowly walking towards her, but we see him and she doesn't. It's just like Jamie Lee Curtis at the door in Halloween and Michael Myers walking up behind her. No one does it better than John Carpenter does, of course. No one has done it as well as that before or after, because it's just so effectively done in the first Halloween movie. But that's what it gave me. It's a little bit scary. I mean, I think I would be scared in 1931.
Oh, I would be scared today.
Yeah.
If I was in her shoes, I will say. Like turning around and there is a giant green corpse man.
Yeah.
But also, it gets you maybe the most iconic Karloff. I don't really want to say line read, but like vocal delivery of the movie. They're just like, like. I love him.
I love him.
Sweet, precious boy. He did nothing wrong. He didn't deserve to be burned alive in a thing. I will say, so of course we know that Lugosi turned the roll down and, was that bitter that Frankenstein did so well and he wasn't in it, and it launched a different star who that he then worked with, and they were friends, and there was like a fake feud. Even though it does sound like later in his life he became more jealous of the success that Karloff had and that he didn't. But Lugosi saw Frankenstein in theaters.
Of course he did.
Lugosi's friends and his widow said that he saw Frankenstein in theaters. he really liked it, but he was really, really moved by it. And the thing that moved him the most is that Lugosi, not unlike James Whale, fought in World War One.
Mm-hmm.
And the scene in which the monster is killed at the end in the mill and is burned alive and is just like whimpering and crying and like helplessly like trying to like bat away the flames. According to Lugosi's widow and his friends, said that whenever Lugosi would talk about Frankenstein, he would talk about that scene and he would start crying and say that in World War One he saw soldiers burned alive in the same way, and it looked the same and it sounded the same, and they would cry for their mothers. And I watched that scene and I watched Karloff bring that exact same thing out. And even by like the 40s and 50s, just thinking about that scene would bring Lugosi to tears. And like, that's so goddamn powerful.
It is. And that's why I would argue that this is the best Universal movie. I think probably objectively because it has the most depth and the most pathos.
You think
top of this
Frankenstein more so than Bride of Frankenstein?
Yes. I think it's a better movie than Bride of Frankenstein. I think Bride of Frankenstein. I mean, I love Bride of Frankenstein, and I probably prefer it to Frankenstein in terms of like what I would rather watch on any given day. But I think objectively, Frankenstein is a better movie.
Okay.
Personally.
Wow.
We'll get to that. Let's get to it now. But first, we have to play Have They Seen It on this one. The game where we speculate wildly whether notable figures have seen this movie. I don't know why I'm thinking of this person, but the singer and rapper Doja Cat. Do you think that she has seen Frankenstein? She has a new album out that I like. That's why maybe I'm.
Isn't she like racist or something?
Racist?
Wasn't she caught on like fucking like white supremacist forums or some shit?
She's a black woman.
I know.
I hope she's not on white supremacist forums.
I know.
Oh God.
That's my like weird cultural understanding of her is that.
Oh gosh, I had no idea anything like that.
Something like that.
She has a new song called Jealous Type that's really fun. That's like an 80s throwback.
Anyway. She's always doing weird shit and being like, I'm just a troll. And people are being like, you're doing some weird shit though. Anyway.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say no. I think she has a cultural understanding of the movie. And
how could you not be American? And like,
exactly. Yeah. And I think if you went to her and you were like, remake Frankenstein right now, she could do a like pretty damn good job. But I feel like if you came to her and were like, we're gonna put on Frankenstein 1931 James Whale, she would turn it off.
That's fair. I feel like bad, but I feel like there's like skeletons in her closet that I was not aware of, and I've like stirred a controversy without meaning to.
Sometimes you have to learn. Well, I will take a similar pivot just because this is the kind of movie that like is so ubiquitous. It's really hard to pull someone. So I'm just gonna go off someone that's also released new music recently. This person is a pop icon of recent years that just put out a new EP. Do you think that Slayyyter has seen Frankenstein 1931?
Ooh.
Her new EP fucking rules, by the way.
I love her. How old is she?
She's around my age, I think.
Oh, really? That old?
Rude. She's a year younger than me. She's so we're currently the same age for the time being.
I would guess yes.
She put out that horror album too, right?
Oh no, you're thinking of
Kim Petras.
Kim Petras.
Sorry, there's only so many trans pop stars.
I didn't know that Slayyyter was transgender, actually.
Yes, Slayyyter is trans.
Oh.
Yeah. Her new fucking EP rules. Yeah. I don't know. What's your perception? Yeah, she's 29.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, probably. At the very least, she's been at a club in Bushwick that has had it being projected on the wall.
That's the thing about this. It's a little hard to play this game with Frankenstein because people have seen it without seeing it because it's just so omnipresent in our culture.
Mm-hmm.
I actually have to admit, when I watched Bride of Frankenstein this week, I was like, I don't know if I've ever seen this before. Because there were things that I was like, this is crazy. I did not know that this was.
You're like, I don't remember tiny people in
That's
jars.
the moment. That's exactly the moment. All right, well, let's just talk about Bride of Frankenstein. It's from 1935. It's
Ooh, I'm
by
hearing
James
wedding bells.
It's so good. It's just as beautiful, if not. I think it's more beautiful than Frankenstein is in many ways. There's an interesting aesthetic choice, though. Earlier, I mentioned that the previous movie they set visually in the aesthetic era, and they do the same thing here for the story, except that there's a intro with
yes,
Byron and Mary Shelley in their mansion talking about the writing of Frankenstein.
And Percy Shelley,
And Percy Shelley. She continues the story, and that's when we get Bride of Frankenstein. But they set that portion in the time that Frankenstein was written, which is like early 1800s. So in other words, in the context of this movie, Mary Shelley has written about the far future.
I mean, it is a sci-fi novel.
It's true.
So,
and it doesn't matter. It's just me being nitpicky, but it is like funny.
It is funny. I think it works.
It does work. It works entirely.
I will say the opening of this movie is one of the coolest things about it.
Ugh.
It's so awesome. I was always told that The Bride of Frankenstein picks up immediately after Frankenstein ends, which is true. However, we have an intro first.
Yes.
Which took me back when I first saw it. This was also a movie that for years I thought I had seen. And then when I finally watched it, that opening scene happened and I was like, oh, I haven't seen this. What the fuck?
Yeah.
When I watched it that time, it was always people being like, well, Bride of Frankenstein is like, famously, empirically the best Universal monster movie. Like, we can all agree. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? And then I watched it. I was like, there's no way I've seen that movie. And then I watched it and I was like, no, I haven't seen this. And actually, this is fucking amazing.
This movie rips.
First of all, let's just quickly sing the praises of Elsa Lanchester.
She's so good. She's playing a dual role as Mary Shelley and later as the bride.
Yes.
Uncredited as question mark as the bride.
Yeah. But she is now most well known as being the Bride of Frankenstein. If you bring up Elsa Lanchester, anyone's that. She wrote an autobiography years ago that recently came back in print, and it's so fucking good. I highly recommend you read it. She is just like such a fascinating acting career. She ping-ponged around every corner of Hollywood in England, was such an incredible stage actress, has had such a bizarre career, was also famously married to Charles Laughton, the director of Night of the Hunter, which was like kind of a lavender beard marriage, but she was like fully in love with him at the same time. And so like, all I will say is the chapter that revolves around his death is one of the most heartbreaking things you'll ever read, but it's so sweet and touching. And she, like, despite the fact that they really didn't have a sexual relationship, they were in love and had like a really magical relationship. And she, the entire time, was incredibly supportive of his homosexuality. And they did so many movies together. The two of them in Witness for the Prosecution is like one of my favorite pairings. She's amazing in Murder by Death. As the Miss Marple stand-in.
I love Murder by Death.
She's so fucking good as the aunt in Bell, Book and Candle, which is like another
oh my
like
gosh, I didn't realize that
staple.
these were her, these roles.
Because Bride of Frankenstein is so early. She's very young, and then she comes back in like the late 50s, and then into the 60s and 70s. It's like a kooky young lady who does this with her voice. She reminds me of my friend Lottie so much. And she's amazing. There's a really fun gothic comedy from the 70s with her and Roddy McDowell called Arnold that I highly recommend.
Okay.
I think you would love it. Vinegar Syndrome has a great release of it out. Yeah, I mean, she would just be in things like The Private Life of Henry VIII, or The Razor's Edge, or David Copperfield, or Mary Poppins, The Bishop's Wife, but then also pop up in Willard and Murder by Death. And like, she was a great comic actress. She like got a lot of horror work. She was in a bunch of like film noir movies like Ladies in Retirement and Mystery Street, and did a lot of like prestige work, did a lot of work with Lawton. She was in a Lassie movie. She's just like one of the most underrated like GOAT character actresses, that if you're like an old Hollywood TCM head like myself and you're watching a movie and you have no idea what it is and you see her name 10th billed in the credits, you know you're in it for a good time.
Yeah.
And of course, the opening of this is talking about the genesis of the novel Frankenstein, which is a very famous story. We covered it a lot more on the episode on Ken Russell's Gothic, which is all about that night. So you go listen to that episode and go watch Gothic. But I love that this movie pays lip service to that, because it's such a cool element of the story. And like,
yeah, it's fun.
If you watch these movies back to back, because they're both an hour long, it's almost like having a little intermission.
Yes. I mean, so this movie came out in 1935. So it's 4 years later. It picks up as soon as the first movie ends. So at the fire and the windmill. This has the same opening as Halloween Kills. So Frankenstein's monster has not died in the fire. In fact, he's still alive down there. And, the townspeople are gathered around, and someone goes down there to make sure that he's dead. And of course he's not dead, and he kills that person. He comes out, immediately kills like 3 people. He's just a killing machine now. Like, the whole production here is bigger. There's way more killing. There's way more production value. It is like kind of schlocky.
It's also context. Like Halloween 2
yes,
from 81,
yeah.
which is also like picks up the moment after Michael Myers disappears and immediately starts with Michael Myers breaking into people's houses and picking up kitchen knives. Like,
yes, but I mean, Halloween Kills literally has
the fire. Yeah.
Yeah. We are introduced to a great character, Minnie, the servant at the Frankenstein
Uno Hagen.
House. She's amazing. What a great performance. Is that Uta Hagen?
No, her name is Una O'Connor. Sorry.
Oh,
I always like blend their names. No, it's Una O'Connor. Okay. She is an amazing Cockney actress that was like one of James Whale's favorite actors. She so also funny. Has a large, similarly comedic part in The Invisible Man as like the woman that runs the inn that he's staying at. And she's just screeching all the time. Screeching.
She's a busybody. She's annoying, kind of in a delightful way, kind of in a way that's discordant with a lot of the movie, but charming nonetheless. I love her.
She's magnificent. This movie really, so in terms of James Whale's career, he like comes over from England being like a West End theater, like accomplished West End theater director with Journey's End, then makes the film adaptation of Journey's End for Universal, and then follows it up with Waterloo Bridge. Both of these are like big acclaimed specialist like art films. And then gets offered Frankenstein the same year as Waterloo Bridge because the Universal Brass was so impressed with Waterloo Bridge. Frankenstein is their biggest hit, and it makes Whale and Karloff their like golden boys immediately. He then made a melodrama called Impatient Maiden with Lou Ayres, which didn't do that well. And then Old Dark House, which we discussed a couple weeks ago.
Delight.
And then Kiss by the Mirror, which was a big hit. And then they brought him back for Into the Monsters with Invisible Man, which he was able to make much more of a comedy. But that's also a severely effects-driven film. And the effects in that movie are amazing and hold up so well. And he's, once again, showing his great hand at discovering actors. And the same way that Frankenstein makes the career and launches the career of Karloff, Invisible Man does the same of Claude Rains. It's his first movie, and then he immediately gets the lead and becomes a like leading man for the rest of the like 40s and 50s.
Yeah.
It is the best. And then he does 2 more melodramas in between, and they lure him back with Bride of Frankenstein with the basically be given carte blanche. He has a much higher budget. He can do whatever he wants with it. He can develop the screenplay. He can develop the story. He brings in Una O'Connor. He brings in Ernest Thesiger. He brings in Elsa. Like he brings in all of these actors that he loves, and makes it so idiosyncratic. And this movie and Old Dark House, to me, are the 2 films that create the language of horror and camp.
Yeah.
Like,
this movie
such a queer sensibility.
Yes. Well, a lot of that has to do with Ernest Thesiger. This movie is big, though. It's big.
Yeah.
That's why I said it's like Halloween Kills. It's like kind of focused on the village, and you get all these different, Frankenstein's monsters just going to these different scenarios and meeting different people. And it's all about like the whole larger community. You do get Ernest Thesiger as Septimus Pretorius, Harry Potter-ass name as it is. It's a wonderful, wonderful queer villain. The Disney style of queer villains, very effeminate, very, nefarious.
I love the way he, when he announces the name of the Bride of Frankenstein, that he holds his arms down at his sides, but then flicks the wrists up. It's such a beautifully
He's
mannered
like one of the
Skeksis
from Dark Crystal or something.
No, he really is. You expect him to be doing that the whole
time. He's a wonderful West End actor too. Wonderful British theater actor that I assume James Whale brought over for Old Dark House. He's most known for this.
Yeah.
This is a much bigger role, but I do love Horace Femme in Old Dark House. Great character. Also, I looked him up. He's like royalty. I mean, his relatives on his Wikipedia page are Viscount this and Lord and Lady that. So he's
Jesus
old school
Christ.
British aristocracy, which
that's insane.
Tracks. You feel like he seems posh.
Yeah, I love when he shows up in this movie initially, because as an audience you're like, who the fuck is this guy? But then he walks into all the scenes being like, you all know who I am, and you're like,
yeah,
I guess we do. But I really love how, in the time between movies, Henry Frankenstein has gotten married, and he's like, that's all behind me.
Right. He
I don't
play
do
God
that
anymore.
anymore.
He feels regretful.
And Thesiger shows up like a fucking ex.
Yeah.
Who's like, you need to come back.
I heard about your work. I've been doing the same stuff. We're going to work together. And if you don't, I'm going to unleash your monster.
It's treated like a seduction and a little bit of a blackmail that if you don't come spend time with me in the secret lair, then I'll tell your wife what you've been up to.
Meanwhile, he's taught Frankenstein's monster how to drink and smoke and talk a little bit.
Hell yeah.
This is the best moment where Frankenstein's monster says, love dead, hate living.
Yeah.
So relatable.
The dialogue in this movie and the writing of the creature characters is so fucking beautiful. They're we belong dead. All of that is so amazing. Of course, Karloff gets lines this time because Karloff is a much bigger star. It should also be pointed out that this is one of the movies that creates the Screen Actors Guild.
Oh.
So, Karloff went through so many hours of fucking makeup on the first movie. Jack Pierce doing incredible work on both films, on both of Karloff and then on Lanchester at the end of this. Literally iconic. Amazing. But it would take almost an entire day just to apply the makeup, and then he would be expected to be on set for an entire day performing in it, and then it would take almost an entire day to take it off. It was truly grueling. And I think it was either this or the next sequel, Son of Frankenstein, that Karloff basically was like, walked off set and was like, fuck you. Like,
Yeah.
I'm a goddamn actor. If I'm going to spend 13 hours in a chair or whatever the insane number was, having like fish hooks put in my face,
Yeah.
you only get me for so long on set. You have to pay me this much. You have to treat me like a human being. And he got together with, I think, James Cagney and Edward G. Robinson, and they formed the Screen Actors Guild.
Yeah, that's cool.
Like, and
I learned how to...
Bela Lugosi was one of the first members to join. Like, really, really, really impressive.
During the Hollywood strikes a couple of years ago, I learned how the Writers Guild started, and it was because during the classic Hollywood era, MGM had been losing all this money, and so Mayer brought in all of the actors and all the talent together in a big room. Basically, he's like, "We're all going to have to take pay cuts because we're not bringing enough money." And so everyone was like, "Okay, this is what it is. Just is how it is." And then somebody, a writer in the hallway, heard him talking to another executive, and he said, "Do you think they bought it?" And so that person went and started like the Writers Guild. We love unions here at Bloodhaus.
We love a union, and you know who we hate? Louis B. Mayer.
Yeah.
Louis B. Mayer and Irving Thalberg are on our list of Bloodhouse enemies. Up with Ronald Reagan.
Yeah. The science. That's what I was going to talk about.
Yeah.
So interesting science here.
Yeah. They make the little people in jars.
Dr. Frankenstein has been working on the science we know of, like sewing together dead bodies to use electricity to bring it back to life. Meanwhile, Dr. Septimus Pretorius has been growing little people like mushrooms. And so he figures they can collaborate on this somehow. So he has these little jars full of people, and they're, he's like a king and queen. He has a ballerina.
But he has to keep the king and queen separate because the king is very randy.
He's too randy. He has a ballerina who only likes one song. He has like a priest. It's a very surprising scene.
It's really weird. It makes
very weird.
No goddamn logical sense.
I love it though.
I love it so much, and it's one of the most whale touches ever. I mean, the little priest in the jar keeps up the anti-Catholicist mean streak in a really fun way. But just the image of the ballerina sitting there with her skirts hiked up, looking dejected and mad if they're not playing her song, is so such a beautiful, funny image.
And also the special effect of the king getting out and then getting picked up with tweezers and put back in it. It looks great.
It looks great. Again, this is Whale coming on. The first Frankenstein, it's a lot of German expressionist set design and lighting to really get that gothic look across. Again, he's using every trick in his tool belt from working on the stage, and he's got Jack Pierce there to throw some of the most incredible makeup designs in the world at it. And then on Invisible Man, he gets to work with special effects for the first time on maybe the single most effects-driven film ever at that point in Hollywood. And so for Bride of Frankenstein, he can just sprinkle some of that in.
Yeah.
And it's so fucking cool. And it makes this movie feel even bigger and more epic and grand. We also get a lot, because the first Frankenstein is a process film to a large degree of starts out, we have a goal. I want to make a man. Let's get some body parts. Let's sew it together. Let's juice it up with electricity. Oh no, the man got out. Gotta go get the man. It's very A, B, A, B, A, B. Bride of Frankenstein, however, is, I always think in terms of film sequels and trilogies, I love a sequel. I love a second film the most, because it's usually you've established your characters and you can kind of just have character time.
Yeah.
You can kind of just hang out with them all. That's why I love Ocean's 12 so much, on top of that movie being a Dadaist masterpiece. And this movie, it lets you live and breathe with the character so much more. And so the monster himself has a plot. The two doctors have a plot. We get an assistant as well, who I believe is the first time we have someone named Igor.
I don't remember what his name is.
No, it's Hans.
Hans, something German.
Or Carl or whatever. It's Carl. It's Dwight Fry. It's the same actor from the first one. They just changed his name. It's not.
By the way, I
Son of
love that they're
Frankenstein.
like, go and get a body from the accident hospital. What is an accident hospital? And then he just goes and murders somebody walking home, which is great.
He probably had the same like accident hospital. What the fuck do you mean accident hospital? Let's kill someone. Like I love that like you're able to have the two narratives at once. You're able to like luxuriate in them both, and then but also you can do the William Goldman trick from a writing perspective of like cut out all the boring parts because you have the two to jump between. You can just go to the main beats and it can like fly by. This of course allows us to have the famous scene from the novel that was cut out of the first Frankenstein in adaptation of him meeting the blind hermit.
This is so good, this scene. Just beautiful.
So good.
Heartbreaking.
There's not a version of the story that does the scene that isn't heartbreaking. It's so this version and the new Del Toro version are some of the most like heartbreaking versions depicted. Whenever I watch this one, as soon as he gets there, I keep expecting the hermit to be Gene Hackman because of Young Frankenstein. Cigars. But it's so good. And I want to say the hermit is it's O.P. Heggie, which is such a like old Hollywood old man name.
Yeah.
Also like Australian like actor who was in like fancy movies. He was in The Count of Monte Cristo, Prisoner of Shark, like important films.
Sure.
He's so fucking good. Like
I love that scene. That scene it's maybe the one scene that compares to the first movie in terms of like depth and pathos. Because a lot of this movie, as much as I love it, it does feel schlocky. Like the fact that Dr. Frankenstein is still alive is really schlocky, considering we just saw him fall from a burning windmill and hit every rung on the windmill on the way down. You know what I mean? Like that feels schlocky. The end of this feels really schlocky. The body count feels schlocky for the time. And I don't necessarily even mean schlocky in a bad way. It just feels like
it's leaning more into its genre bones rather than...
It's a little bit like Alien versus Aliens, right? Like Alien is such a spare, sophisticated movie. And then Aliens is a great movie, but it's like an action movie, you know?
Yeah, I mean, in the process of like continuing a story, but also like blowing up to a larger scale, you're going to have to sacrifice more like literary trappings for more cinematic ones. And like it's apples and oranges. I don't think one is better than the other.
No, I don't necessarily either. But I do like that this scene is here because it kind of gives it a little bit more depth and pathos. And it's because I guess it comes from the novel, right? It is from that book. So
I think it fits better in this movie than in the first one, because you really need that scene of connection to show him what he's missing to make the end work.
Yeah.
You need to have him have a genuine connection with someone that is real and that is earned, so that when the bride wakes up and he's expecting the exact same thing out of the gate and that doesn't happen, that it like is heartbreaking. I love the ending of this movie. I think it's a little rushed. But of course it's a movie from 1935 that has to be like 70 minutes long.
I love the ending in terms of the story. I think it's a little bit unbelievable that he's like, you live to Dr. Frankenstein and Elizabeth. That's the only thing. That feels like very Hollywood 1935.
That is very Hollywood.
Like. It's like, why should Dr. Frankenstein live? He's totally evil and he made you. You know what I mean? Like,
you hate him. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, that's the only thing I mean. Otherwise, I think it's beautiful. I think it's heartbreaking that the bride doesn't like him. I think her performance is really great, especially considering that she doesn't talk. You know what I mean? Like,
she's so good. Her hiss, oh my god.
Yeah, it's great.
To your point about the like first movie and the transition between the two of them being clunky with their deaths, is that the really interesting thing about the like self-imposed like code and rules and guidelines to Hollywood filmmaking is that of course like the bad guys have to be punished. If you like build a man out of corpse pieces, you have to die. So them's the breaks.
That's why my favorite Hays Code thing ever is in the movie of The Bad Seed, which is of course a play adaptation. It's about a psychotic little girl who gets away with it in the play, but in the movie adaptation,
she's struck down by God.
It's the same thing, except she walks out to the end of a dock and a bolt of lightning strikes her and kills her, and then the movie is over. It's so funny.
So funny. But the thing that people always say about the horror genre that's so interesting is that, you know, Hays Code says you have to end the movie like this. The bad guys have to, if you do anything morally gray, you have to be like punished for it. But if the movie does well enough, it's gonna get a sequel. And to necessitate a sequel, you have to then clear the slate of that ending.
Sure.
And so the capitalist functions of Hollywood filmmaking are in opposition to the moral imperative proposed.
I understand completely. I'm still saying it's still I'm
not saying you're wrong or anything. I'm just saying
right?
I think it's so interesting.
It's totally interesting.
The movies themselves are like, yeah, so that was imposed on us, and we all agree that didn't happen.
Yeah.
I really love it. I find it
it just
really
is what
fun
it is,
element.
and so you might as well embrace that. You know what I mean? Like,
as I do.
One thing I just wanted to say before we finish, I wanted to talk about it earlier with the little people because I'm obsessed with them. Is like,
you're gonna make a whole prequel movie about them.
I don't know. Speaking of capitalism, I was like, if I was in that room, I would be like, forget the other project. Like, let's stop here because we have created the greatest pet on Earth. Like, we are going to be so rich. They created a new species, tiny little people. They could be so rich. Who doesn't, like, what little kid doesn't want a tiny little person, a Barbie that's alive for real?
Right? You want to feel better about yourself? Are you just like a peasant living in a village, like shoveling dung because the Burgermeister is like overtaxing your demographic? Feel better about yourself. Own a king. If you own a king, you're better than the king.
How about a tiny little family? Now, I have seen Fantastic Planet. I know where that's going. But
I think the word is slavery.
I saw dollar signs. Sorry. I know that I'm like a communist basically, but so I grew up here in America and I couldn't help it. I was seeing dollar signs in that scene.
So the one final thing I want to say, which is as we wrap up, is about the end of this movie and about the cultural understanding and cultural osmosis of this movie. Everyone knows the look of Elsa Lanchester in this movie. Everyone knows the hair, the super iconic white streak. Like, everyone knows that she's called the Bride of Frankenstein, that the movie is called The Bride of Frankenstein.
And by the way, why not The Bride of Frankenstein's Monster? I know it's not as good a title, but like, she's actually not The Bride of Frankenstein.
She's in fact not. And the thing that's so interesting to me is that like the pop cultural understanding of her, if you go to like Spirit Halloween and you look at a costume, or if you look at like, you know, a chintzy piece of like cheapo art on some cardboard that they sell there, or, you know, there's like Tumblr fucking images of the Frankenstein's monster and the Bride of Frankenstein like covered in tattoos and shit like that. That cultural understanding is always that they love each other so much.
I know, it's so funny.
It's like the fucking like Suicide Squad, Jared Leto, Joker and Harley Quinn. How dare anyone get in the way of his queen kind of fucking shit. When like, if you watch the movie, that is in fact
that's not the case.
Not the case. And I find it really funny how often that's presented as being like, yeah, she's the Bride of Frankenstein. They love each other so much. And it's like, she hates him. Yeah. That's not true. And I love how many lesbians like glom onto her and are like, nope, defy cultural norms. Make her a bride. So that's why I've always been pitching the Universal Monster sequel that we never got, which is The Bride of Frankenstein meets Dracula's daughter.
Ooh,
Two
that's a great
sapphic
idea.
undead queens,
Sapphic queens.
that can finally be together. Okay, so as we wrap up, we're about to go into Have They Seen It, but we are also wrapping up our first ever like specialized miniseries run on Bloodhaus, which is fun and exciting. But we're also wrapping up this look into the Universal monsters. We might do other runs down the line. We only covered a small section of them. Going into this, you told me that your favorite one was Creature in the Black Lagoon,
which is now my least favorite of all the ones that we've watched.
I was going to say, has that changed? How has your understanding of these movies changed? And who is your favorite monster? But separate of that, what is your favorite movie of the Universal cycle?
Well, this is like a sampling of movies, so it's not a thorough investigation. I would now say that the creature from the Black Lagoon is not a classic Universal monster. He doesn't even count. So I would just like take him off the board.
He's a 50s Atom Age monster. It's different.
Yeah, it's a different thing. I would say probably The Bride is probably my favorite monster and probably my favorite movie.
She's so good.
I love her. I want a tattoo of her.
She has the least screen time of all of them.
Like 3 minutes. Yeah, like so little screen time.
The thing that I find so fascinating is that Bride of Frankenstein is the second movie, and they made like 5 more Frankenstein movies. And then on top of that, they made the Monster Mash movies of House of Frankenstein, House of Dracula, Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman, where they like combine them together. They never bring her back.
That's crazy.
Insane. You would think in at least one of those, they'd be like, oh yeah, she's there. If Karloff only comes back one more time, and after that, they start recasting the monster to be different actors because like, fuck it doesn't matter. So at a certain point, it's Bela Lugosi under there. At a certain point, it's Glenn Strange under there. It's like, they don't give a shit.
Are any of those other ones worth watching? Have you enjoyed any of them?
I think most all of them are. I think Son of Frankenstein is really good. Son of Frankenstein has the most elements that Young Frankenstein is riffing off of. So the like constable with the wooden arm in Young Frankenstein is straight out of Son of Frankenstein.
Yeah.
All of that stuff. And like Son of Frankenstein is what gives us Igor. Yeah. And that's Bela Lugosi, and that like Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman is very fun. Once you get to like House of Dracula and stuff like that, it's really like you're checking your watch. But there's still 70 minutes. So
my big surprise from this was rewatching Dracula because I really want to see it with the Philip Glass score. I can't watch that movie without music. It is like nails across the chalkboard to me. I don't know why. It is like it really bothered me to watch a movie that had no music in it.
Always watch it with the Philip Glass Kronos Quartet score because I love that score. And when you texted me about that, I was like, oh, okay, I'll watch it without the score this time. I really loved it without the score.
It drove me crazy.
But I also love silent films and fucking Guy Madden and
shit
like that.
So it leans in them.
Well, silent films have contemporary scores.
I guess that's right.
Silent films have to be rescored when they get like a new restoration and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that's why if you buy like a release of a silent film, you'll have like 7 score options.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll never break. My favorite monster is still Dracula. He's still the king. He's still the goat.
Bela Lugosi is so good.
Lugosi's
performance is so good.
Listen, as much as Karloff in these 2 movies is so goddamn heartbreaking.
Oh yeah, I'm a Bela fan. I stand for Bela.
I do think Karloff is the better actor, and I think, of course, like because of time and choices and cultural decisions, Karloff did have a better and longer career than Lugosi. They were not on an even playing field in any way, shape, or form. But I do think Lugosi's Dracula performance is undeniably like fucking amazing. It's one of the best screen performances of all time.
You believe that he's a vampire. You believe that he could hypnotize you through the screen. I mean, he's so good. And I don't know, but I'm also a gay man, so I don't know if I stand Bela because he's handsome and Karloff isn't, or you know what I mean? I like them both, but I mean, I just really like Bela.
You'd catch me in bed with Boris faster than you'd catch me in bed with Bela. But Dracula, I'm all of a sudden I'm already in bed.
Yeah.
In terms of the movie, I do think I do think Bride's my favorite of
I think
the
it's
films.
my favorite too.
I think it goes down so easy while also being so smart and so packed full of it. And of all of these, it's the one that you could pick over endlessly. But I do have such a soft spot for the Black Cat and Old Dark House, but
Old
Black
Dark
Cat
House.
especially.
Yeah.
I those were the ones that I didn't discover until much later in my life, and are bizarre and like off kilter and kinky and strange in a way that feels special to me as an adult, and I'm glad I didn't see as a kid. They feel more in line with the kind of shit that I like now. They feel, again, closer to like Guy Madden and all those kind of weird, and like Fritz Lang. And they have very rough edges, and they are much more like sadomasochistic and bizarre. And I find myself returning to those a lot more of late. So
Yeah.
that's just, special shout out. But undeniably, Bride is the one.
So let's play Have They Seen It, the game where we speculate wildly whether notable figures have seen this movie. I'm thinking of this person because he's horrible and he's in the news a lot. And I think allegedly his like Grindr chats dropped this weekend.
Oh,
I'm talking about Speaker of the House Mike Johnson, responsible, Speaker of the House Mike Johnson, Republican spokesperson.
Oh my God.
Perhaps closeted gay guy.
Oh my God. A video message surfaced from his Grindr. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's hilarious.
He also said to the person he was talking to on Grindr, he's like, I'll come over there and blow your brains out, which he meant, I think, I'll blow you.
Sexually,
but it sounds like I'm going to shoot you in the head. So it's very Republican, confusing language. Anyways, do you think he likes Bride of Frankenstein? Do you think he's gay enough to love Bride of Frankenstein?
No. If you're a closeted conservative, you don't interact with gay culture like the Bride of Frankenstein. No. Hard no. This is also like the kind of movie that, like, if you're closeted, you don't see the queerness in it.
Oh yeah.
Like, it's literally like the like red tinted like filter thing. And then you can see like, oh, there's like a hidden message under there. It is literally like you have to be out for a minimum of like this many years to see the queerness of Bride of Frankenstein.
Mike Johnson is very like Christmas Adventurers coded.
Oh yeah.
He's like he's the one who like monitors.
He would get that corner office.
He's the one who, first of all, there's like a documentary of him and his daughter going to like one of those father-daughter wedding things where your daughter pledges that she won't have sex before marriage, and then also he and his son monitor each other's like porn intake so that they don't watch porn or something. Like very weird Christian nationalist. Anyway.
Oh, that's fucking disgusting.
Yeah, he sucks.
Well, I'm really glad that he's getting his comeuppance this weekend.
Yeah.
What a time to be.
So he's alive.
A no. so he's a no.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I'm just thinking of this person because they're on my t-shirt and we're recording this in a way that we can look at our own faces. And I don't think we've ever used this person. Have they seen it? So whatever. I'm wearing a Buffy t-shirt because it's Halloween. Do you think that bad boy boyfriend of Buffy the Vampire Slayer and everyone's favorite, and everyone who knows who is Endgame, Spike, our bleached blonde queen king, who, let's be honest, is basically a butch lesbian. Do you think that Texan-born actor and musician James Marsters, who played Spike on television, on top of then being in movies like A Bread Factory and the House of Haunting on Hill House? What's the fucking
Haunting of Hill House?
No, the Vincent Price one that was remade.
House on Haunted Hill?
House on Haunted Hill. He's in the House on Haunted Hill remake. And of course, who could forget his turn in the Dragon Ball Z live action movie? Do you think James Marsters has seen The Bride of Frankenstein?
I want to say no for some reason. I feel like Spike has seen it for sure, but he's also like lived hundreds of years. I want to say no. What do you think? I don't think that I don't get a sense that he's like a very smart, cool person. Is that wrong?
I mean, fair. I think he's seen horror movies, and I think he has like a diet and a taste for horror movies, but I don't think he's in like the Freddie Prinze Jr. camp.
No way.
Of being like a huge apparently after Buffy was canceled, he wrote an entire screenplay himself on like on spec for a Spike movie and presented to Joss Whedon and was like, here you go.
That's just a man trying to get work, though.
Didn't get made. That's just a man trying to get work. I feel like he's seen Bride of Frankenstein, but he probably saw Bride of Frankenstein like as a child.
Fair enough. Yeah.
And like he's always doing those like horror conventions and circuits and stuff like that. I feel like, if you had to do a like CW or fucking whatever the equivalent today, like Frankenstein miniseries, or like an American equivalent to something like Penny Dreadful, where they're kind of doing a more like elegant Monster Mash like series kind of thing. Yeah. You like casting him as the monster in a Frankenstein element or story could be very interesting. I think that's a role that he could do very well.
He'd be great. He's a great actor.
He's a very underrated actor, and I think he would do well with prosthetics. You should see A Bread Factory. It's in 2 parts. It's very long. It's a really great art film about like a local community theater. That you would really, really, really like it. And it's the kind of movie where you're like, oh, I'm not expecting a fucking like CW actor from 20 years ago to have like a main like role in this, but he's like really fucking good. I was blown away, and I've kind of been like,
I've always thought he was a great actor. I just don't think he was like a very smart, cool person.
I mean, fair. He's got very like divorced dad energy. Yeah. He's got his rock band that his son is in. Like, yeah. I am just always thinking like, there's all these actors that have like big like fandoms for having been on like Supernatural or like any of those like CW shows that like they're not the leads, but they're always like the fan favorites. They'll have done like 40 episodes of a 300 episode run TV show. Or I'm like, these guys are really good. Why are we putting people like that into like art films or like indie horror films or like, I guess like Nathan Fillion is the best example of that, where like he's now in Superman and shit, but like there's like an untapped wealth of talent of like probably like Vancouver based actors that are all on these shows where I'm like, you could get a lot out of these people. Anyway,
do you know who I would love to see again is Jason Priestley from 90210.
Right.
I really like him.
I've been watching a lot of Gilmore Girls recently because I need a lobotomy and it's the next best thing. Yes. And like, Milo Ventimiglia is still working and still leading like CBS shows, but like, and Jared Padalecki is also doing the same thing, but like, there's plenty of those actors that are like, put them in things. What the fuck are we doing?
Yeah, let's get to it.
Allison Hannigan can do more than host magic shows.
Well, she's so rich that I feel like she just doesn't have to do anything because she was on How I Met Your Mother or whatever, right? So like she's like very rich.
She's got all her Buffy money and all her How I Met Your Mother money and all of her American Pie money. And her husband was Wesley on Buffy, so he has all of his Angel money.
Yeah.
They're fine.
Rich. Happy Halloween, everyone. That's it for October. That's a wrap. We're going back to our regular scheduled programming next month.
So we're going to be a little bit more artsy and a little bit more modern. You can finally watch a movie in color.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. So please rate us wherever you listen to podcasts. You can email us at bloodhausepod@gmail.com. You can follow us on Letterboxd or Instagram. Drusilla, where do people follow you nowadays?
You can find myself and my work over at sisterhidedesign.com. I have a lot of new stuff out there. A new work for the Nicolas Cage horror movie, Christ horror movie, The Carpenter's Son, co-starring FKA Twigs, that is out in theaters November 14th. So that is coming soon, and all of that new art is up on my site. Check that out. You can follow me on Instagram at Sister Hyde, and you can follow me on Letterboxd if you look for Drusilla Adeline or Sister Hyde, and you can see what I thought of my run through the Hammer Frankenstein cycle this month. Josh, what about you? How can people bang on your windmill?
Joshua Conkel, Blue Sky, and oh no, that's wrong. I'm not on Blue Sky. Why did I say that? I'm so used to saying that. Joshua Conkel on Letterboxd and Instagram. November, it is here. What are we watching next?
November, we are going back into the current timeline. We are watching a recent film. In fact, it hit American theaters this year. It is from one of the biggest art house filmmakers of America, that's currently alive in America. That we've somehow never covered one of his movies because he only has a handful of genre films. I mentioned one of his films earlier this episode. I'm very, very excited. He's one of my favorite directors of all time. And we're going to November, which is, very much a season of Thanksgiving and connecting with your family. And this is a movie all about family strife and disconnection. And it's also an impeccable ghost film from none other than America's best living weirdo, Steven Soderbergh. We will be witnessing A Presence.
Can't wait. Very exciting. Thanks, everyone. Bye. Happy Halloween.